Well, we are back with The Mandalorian for episode 4. And I'm lost. I'm just completely lost now on what exactly the goal is for this season. It honestly seems like they have no idea and no plan on where they're actually going with this. This is what you actually call a filler episode. They really don't do much. You know, there's no character stuff. There's no, oh, we're building up to this. You know, I guess the only point in the episode is, oh, come and see how this Mandalorian weird cult operate. And again, whenever you're dealing with the Mandalorians, they are very stupid, very backwards. You know, a lot of the stuff it has no logical sense whatsoever. So that's kind of what we're dealing with this episode. You know, it's all calm, we're doing regular shit. And then what do you know? Monster flies out of the sky and flies off with a little Mandalorian foundling. So we then chase that off for the entire episode. And again, again, we've seen this in episode 1. The Mandalorians start fighting a monster and they make themselves look shit. That's what they do. They just make themselves look so incompetent. It is really just hilarious. And in this episode, we also have Mando abusing Grogu. You know, as much as I don't like Grogu, I kind of felt sorry for him that he was being abused by his so-called dad. So that's what they've done in this episode, abusive father. I don't know how they didn't see what they were doing, but that's what's in this episode. Mando abusing Grogu. Great job, Favreau. But let's dive into it. So we start out with the Mandalorians. And already I'm kind of thinking, because we had episode 3 last week. So the parts that they bookended with they bookended at the start and at the end. They could have just put that in this episode. I really don't know why they didn't just have because we deviated off on track onto something else with the scientist guy. And I'm like, you should have just had that as an episode on its own. That's what you should have done. I would have rathered an entire episode without Mando showing up. So there is that. But yeah, you could have just added that into this. But yet again, we're dealing with an episode where, oh, we've got to walk very slowly and do things very slowly. We have to reach the 25-minute mark because we can't go much further than that. So they're all like training, and it's just mayhem. I'm just like, so why are you training this way? It's like there's people over here shooting guns, shooting explosives into the water. I'm like, no wonder you got a monster problem doing shit like that. It's also wasteful. But you've just got them standing there shooting across. What the fuck are you doing? Mate, why are you shooting into the water? Shooting at a target. You know, if you're doing target practice. But no, they're just shooting like the, regular laser guns. Just in the air. What the fuck is that? I don't know what the point in that is. So you got like the foundlings and all that fighting. Yeah, they're just shooting into the water. Pointless. You're doing nothing. But there doesn't seem to be any structure. Like, oh, this is the combat training part. And I don't even know why they've picked this place to live, considering what happens. And they seem to actually have a team that specifically deals with certain beasts. And I'm just, why the fuck are you on this planet? Go somewhere else. I don't know why they're here. It seems like the worst place to be. They have monsters jumping out of the water. They have, flying things that swoop down and take off foundlings. And it seems like it's not the first time they do it. That a foundling has been swooped off, clutched by a big bird thing. So why are you... I don't know why they're here. So they're doing all that. Then eventually we pan over to little Grogu, the little buy our toys. He's pissing about with these like rocks that are You know, I guess that, you know, that it's like shells on these little fish fucking things, whatever. So Mando eventually comes over, and yeah, they're trying to make Grogu a Mandalorian. What are you doing? Why are we now making Grogu a Mandalorian? I'm not even kidding. They do talk about, oh, he can't have his helmet yet. He can't speak. I'm like, he's too small. Why would you make him a Mandalorian? I guess in season fucking 10, we're gonna get Grogu all grown up and he's bounty hunting. I don't really see the point in making Grogu a Mandalorian. He's tiny. What good can he possibly do by being a Mandalorian? I don't know. They're just trying to make him a Mandalorian. Jesus. So Mando comes over, and he's going, "Oh, it's time you trained with the other foundlings." But nah, I mean, there should be a reason. Maybe he shouldn't, considering how tiny he is. I don't know why you want him to train with humans. Don't know why, Mando, but you seem to be like adamant that that's what we got to do. We got to train with the other foundlings. We're not far off the abuse. So, yeah, so they're making him a Mandalorian. So Mando takes him over and he says to the guy, "Oh, this is the next challenger. This little green thing." And he's like, yeah, even Bo-Katan comes over and says, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Well, I mean, Bo, it's fucking obvious, isn't it? Maybe it's not a good idea to start training with like actual people when you're that small. You know, it's lucky what we're about to see isn't combat, because Grogu would be fucked, wouldn't he? You would just have to boot him and he'd fly off over there. I mean, how much do you think he weighs? About 10 pounds. So yeah, so Grogu's gonna fight this kid here. Can you see the difference in size? I don't know why stupid old Mando doesn't realize this, but then again, he is stupid. Even this kid is smarter than Mando. Even this kid's like, maybe he shouldn't fight. He's too young. And Mando's like, nice, nah, it's fine, it's fine. Even though he's little baby thing, little infant. Mando's worse than Luke Skywalker in this part. You know, when Luke Skywalker had Grogu getting shot by this thing, where it just came across more like bullying than anything else. So, yeah, so Mando's like, if he is to rise from foundling to apprentice, he must learn. Why are you making him a Mandalorian? You don't need to make Grogu a Mandalorian. If you're really desperate to sell your toys, just have him there for that. But don't try and actually make him a Mandalorian. I mean, they eventually make him like a piece of metal. You know, it's bigger than him. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I was already suspicious that, oh, they're going to make him into a Mandalorian. I was surprised when they've actually went that route with it. I mean, just let him do Jedi training on his own. I mean, Mando can go and buy him a lightsaber, and he can be his own Jedi. Don't need Luke Skywalker for that. Maybe that's what he is. He's already half trained, well, somewhat trained in being a Jedi. So making him a Mandalorian's fucking stupid. So yeah, even like the you know, the guy that's sort of the judge, even he's like, he's too small. Mando's like, nah, it'd be fine. And then like that little boy chooses what the challenge is, and luckily enough, it's just darts, using the little dart things. Because again, if it was combat, he'd just get booted to the fucking moon. So they lay all this stuff down, and they get Grogu to put this on. I mean, have a look at it. What the fuck is that? That's gonna fall off his arm. That is. It's too big for him. So you have like the foundling asking like, why doesn't he have a helmet? And apparently it's because he's too young to like obviously talk, so he can't read like the creed. And so he's too young to wear a helmet. And the little boy's like, then he's too young to fight. So I'm like, Mando, this kid is he's on the ball. He's on the ball, you see. He recognises that maybe it's best not putting Grogu into this situation, considering how small he is. So, but no. So now we go on to you get Bo-Katan saying he doesn't know how to use darts. I'm like, fucking hell, Bo-Katan. Why would you think this infant would know how to use darts? She says it in a way like, oh, I'm shocked he doesn't know how to use it. Why would you be shocked at that? I don't know why she'd be shocked at that, but she is. She's as stupid as fucking Mando. So, yeah, then we get Grogu gets abused. So they're like shooting these little paintballs, it knocks the wind out of Grogu and everything. Mando's just looking at him. Grogu's like, are you sure about this? Do we need to call, some sort of social care or something like that? That may be what Grogu needs, I think. He needs someone to step in and go, listen, Mando, this is abuse. He's getting shot, the wind's getting knocked out of him. And you're just like, nah, it's fine. It is fine. So he gets shot the first time, then he gets shot the second time. And then Mando goes, show them what you can do. So then Grogu does his weird little fucking jumps. He jumps over. And then he jumps back over, shoot him in the back. But no, he does that weird jumping shit. So Grogu wins, and then this kid goes off in a huff. And then what do you know? We got a big beast flying out of the sky, because we've got to have action, you see. Got to have action that tells us nothing about anything. Just, oh, the Mandalorians are incompetent. And that's about it. And the Mandalorians think this is the best place to live, even though they've got these things coming about snatching kids off. I'm surprised you haven't dealt with this situation already. Just go and find their layers and, extinguish them. Rather than going, we'll leave it. Even though it's obvious that this has happened many times before. Because you have one of the Mandalorians say, oh, we can never catch them. We can never catch them. So I'm like, move. So this big thing comes down, takes him away. And by the way, apparently, it's this guy's son. He doesn't seem that worried about it, and he waits to the very end of the episode to go, he's my son. Right, but I don't know why you wouldn't tell us that before. So they've now they now fly off, but oh no, that's inconvenient, isn't it? They all, every single Mandalorian runs out of fuel at the same time. Coincidence, that isn't it? So they run out of fuel. I'm like, they didn't even fly that far, and they're out of fuel, and it's just like, well, why are you all out of fuel? So then Bo-Katan goes off on her ship and chases it. And now we're at chapter 20, The Foundling. So Bo-Katan comes back. She's come back rather than actually saving him. You couldn't have radioed back anything like that. I'm pretty sure you have stuff like that, didn't you? You didn't go that far away, so I'm pretty sure you could have got a message back without having to come all the way back and leave that kid to die. But apparently these bird creatures, they don't just kill them. They don't just feed their young with the kid. They keep them in their bellies, and yet somehow the kid is in there in the beast's belly for about 24 hours. Yet he's not dead. I guess that's how that works then. So Bo-Katan comes back and says, "Oh, I chased them off to this, big fucking. They've got a nest on a big mountain that they've got to go up." So Bo shows them where this is. They all talk weird. Why do they talk so weird as well? I don't think I'm missing anything here. Hold on. Yeah, so like I said, that guy says, "Oh, those beasts always get away." So this has happened loads of times, and they haven't done nothing about it. So Bo's like, I followed it back to its lair, and then left him on his own. So that guy's like, the mountain is too high. If we use our jetpacks, the beast will hear. I mean, Bo-Katan went in a big, massive fucking ship right next to it. They seem to be under this illusion that this mindless beast will have, like, the kid like a knife up at his throat. Like, if you come any closer, I'll kill him. When it's an animal. It's an animal. They don't really think that, like, in that way. They would just do what they need to do with them. I don't know why you think, or you're under the impression that they take these foundlings as hostages. It's like, no, it should just take them back and feed it to their kids. That's pretty much all there is to it. So yeah, I'm just like, why exactly do you think an animal is like that smart? I don't think we've got any animals like that where they just take a kid off and don't do anything with them. And they go, oh, if you come any closer, I'll kill them. Even though they're animals. Right, okay. So, yeah, we even find out that they have, because it's called a Shriek Hawk, and they have a Shriek Hawk training team. Really? You got a training team for one specific large bird. Right. I don't know why you've got a training team that's specifically trained to fight them. I don't know why you don't just move. There's loads of planets to go to. You don't have to stay in this one. You've got ships and stuff, ain't you? You're not stuck here. So, yeah, they fly off. They're going to be accompanied by that Shriek Hawk training team. Grogu and the armorer woman, she's like, oh, come, Grogu. We have much training to do. And then she, like, runs off and leaves him to, like, slowly fucking walk. And he's, like, panting and all that. Just pick him up. I don't know why he's not doing the Force thing. It's like, just jump. You ain't got to walk. Especially with those little legs. And, yeah, that's who we're going to make a Mandalorian. Someone who, walk about as fast as a tortoise. So she just starts showing him stuff in the armory stuff. Grogu's watching, he's getting sad and all that. And then we eventually get a flashback. Wow, my Jedi with lightsaber. 10 out of 10 episode because of that. I guarantee you this episode would be, people would be saying how great it is just because, a few Jedi showed up. But yeah, the green lightsabers and blue lightsabers. And then the man shows up and saves Grogu and takes him. And we get a big speed chase across the city. And I couldn't have been more bored. So then he lands down there. He even flew, at some point, he flew through this tunnel. There's a ship behind him there. Yet the ship seems to miss even though they're in a tunnel. It's like, this guy can't go nowhere. So I don't know why your aiming's off. He's not even moving. But they seem to miss him. Okay. So yeah, he flies down there, he drops them off. There's a crew waiting for them. They're gonna take him to, I don't know, Kelani or some shit. And he flies off with him, does hyperspeed. His Coruscant is, is fucking hell. Nostalgia bait much. And then he comes back. So I don't really know what the purpose of all that was. It was just thrown in there. It was just thrown in there. I don't really know what the point was. Where are you going with this? I don't know. Is Grogu like nostalgic? He's like, nah, it was good with the Jedi. It was good in the Jedi Temple. I don't know what the point of it was. It's like we essentially we already knew all this. We already knew that, yeah, he was, saved by my Jedi. So you haven't really offered up much new information. Just that. But to be honest, I don't give a fuck about Grogu's history. I do not care, but maybe that's what we're going to be doing the rest of the season. Is we're going to be giving you Grogu's history that everybody is craving for. But there we go. We've had Star Wars bloody pew fucking lightsaber stuff. So it's a 10 out of 10 episode instantly. It's so great. We can't... That's what Star Wars is, you see. It's lightsabers. That's why you can't have shows like Andor for some reason, because that's not Star Wars, because it doesn't have lightsabers in it and the Force. But 10 out of 10 episode. Fucking great. Just great. Some Jedi stuff that didn't actually mean anything. So she's made him this. I'm like, look at this. That's about the size of him. It's a bit too big, isn't it? So that's his first piece of Beskar. I'm just struggling. I'm struggling to imagine Grogu as a Mandalorian. I don't know why anyone thinks this is a good idea. Again, he's not built for this. He's not built for being a Mandalorian. He's more built again, it's the same thing if you turned Yoda into a Mandalorian. It's like, well, that doesn't work, does it really? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I don't know why you do it here. I mean, you might as well just have Grogu tag along and that's it. We don't really need to do anything with him. We were finished with him at the end of season 2, and then we undone everything, because that's how shows work. They don't move on. What we do is we go, nah, we'll just get Grogu back, do the same shit we already done. But we've had our lightsabers. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 instantly. So they fly there. That they stop a bit back so it doesn't hear them. And all this effort they go to in order to keep quiet, because they somehow think that this big fucking bird thing is keeping them hostage. That all gets thrown up the window by the end of it. This guy here starts being all loud. So it's like all that shit, all that effort you went to just to keep quiet. I guess they landed all the way over here so we could watch them fucking walk. Because we got to make it to 25 minutes, because we can't get more than that. So they're like, oh, we're going to sleep under here and then we're going to do it in the morning. What if the kid's already dead? That I'm surprised the kid's dad's fine with that. If it was my son, I'd be like, no, let's fucking go now. He might already be eaten. So we may want to be quick about this, but he doesn't seem worried. So I'm like, are you really his dad? I don't know why you wait last minute to tell us that. That seems like something, when he's been taken, it's been like, most dads would be like, it took my fucking son, let's go. But no, it was none of that. He didn't really seem to care. So they sit down, and then you get Bo-Katan ask Mando, because she's like all in on this cult shit now. Even though, not long ago, she thought Mando's faction of Mandalorians are a bunch of freaks, and they are. Can't take our helmets off. They're fucking stupid. So she's like, how do you eat when you're around everybody? So Mando's like, you can't. You have to wander off in some direction and go and eat yourself, so nobody sees you. What happens if someone accidentally sees you? What if you go, right, I'm going over here, and someone doesn't know you're over there, and they walk over there and see you? Are you now no longer worthy of being a Mandalorian? You see how this shit doesn't make any sense? It's like, no, don't have it that way. I don't know. Yeah, so she's got to go off like you would, when you're sort of out in the open. You go, I'm just going to go over there for a quick piss. They all do that. Luckily, she gets to stay by the fire. The rest of the Mandalorians, they have to go and shiver while they eat their food, because we can't take our helmets off in front of people because we're fucking weird. I don't know. Maybe they're just ugly. Do you think that's what it is? That's probably why they don't want to do it. But again, it's just a stupid rule. I wish they just got rid of it. There's no point. Or at least if you're going to have it, be consistent to some extent. So they wake up in the morning. They're like, I don't know, what do they say? They're going to climb up there. And they're like, he'll kill the kid if we attack. I'm still just like, I don't know why. It's an animal. It is an animal. That's why I just keep coming. So what we expect to see up there is this big bird with a knife. Like, I'll fucking kill him. Is that what we'd be doing? Because that you're making it sound that way. I'm just like, an animal coming to that conclusion. So they all climb up. Of course, we have to see the entire climb. We can't just go, show them a bit of climbing up and then they get to the top. We've got to show you it for about 5 minutes. It feels that way. And it's probably closer to about 2 minutes. We watch them for 2 minutes climbing up this, nothing happens, nothing goes wrong. You know, no one falls. So I'm like, why are we watching this? Oh, that's right, we've got to get to 25 minutes. We've got to fill that time, baby. We can come up with an idea. Are you crazy? So they eventually get to the top, fucking after 5 minutes. Jesus Christ. So they're up at this nest. They're like, the bird isn't here. Can you see any heat signals? So then this guy that suddenly says he's my son, he starts making a load of racket, and then the big bird comes out and almost kills them all. So I'm like, that effort you went to in order to stay quiet was pointless. So he's like climbing over it. He's like, my son. And then these three, they're going to make these Mandalorians as well, it seems like. We'll get to that. So the three little fucking, I don't, what they, shriek hawks, that's it. And then that thing jumps up. I'm like, where was that disappeared to? And then like I don't know why he does it now, but like he randomly swings. So that's where the kid has been inside this for about 24 hours. And I'm like, how are you alive? I really don't know how he's alive. But that's how, you know, he hasn't bitten into your legs or nothing. I don't know why at this point in time he's like, right, quick, get him back out of my throat. I don't know why you're doing that now. He like starts to go and feed his little kids as this is going on. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And supposedly this is an animal that understands hostage negotiation. So it even like steps on him. I'm like, yeah, he probably killed it. I don't know why we're like pretending. And it takes off his dad in his mouth. So then we get to see the Mandalorians in action, and they're all fucking incompetent. What great fun. Make sure I haven't missed anything. So, no, yeah, Bo, like, flies up to it, and then gets slapped away by its fucking wing. Like, gets slapped away. I'm like, what was your plan? I don't know what your plan was. Half the time, whenever you see them in action, they don't actually have a plan. They're just like, fuck it, whatever will do. So she like falls out of the sky, manages to save herself. Then she like attaches herself to it, because they all do that for some reason. Attach yourself to the flying beast, and then like Mando comes to the rescue. He flies up and like punches the thing's feet, and then the kid falls, and then Mando flies and saves him, and gives him to his dad. And then they come back to the cult. They all come out, right? And somehow Bo-Katan gets the, you know, this woman says, "Oh, the highest honor in our creed is saving a foundling." I'm like, that's your highest honor. Pretty sure there's higher honors than that. And then she like Bo-Katan didn't save this kid. It was Mando. Bo-Katan like may have said, "Oh, we go there quietly," and that was it. But Mando actually saved the kid. So why is Mando not getting anything? Seems strange to me. It's like she didn't do shit. So yeah, like she says, "Oh, we've got 3 new foundlings for you," and then they pull the right. First of all, how are these 3 fitting in that ship? That's my first question. Second of all, we're not actually making these Mandalorians as well, are we? We're not doing that. Please tell me we are not doing that, because the way she says it, we've got 3 new foundlings for you. Right, they're birds. What? They're birds. What are you gonna do with these anyway? I don't know. They're gonna give them Beskar armor. That was my guess. But yeah, there's no way those 3 massive things fit in Bo-Katan's ship. Jesus, how do you do that and not realize? Oh, they wouldn't actually fit in that, would they? So Bo-Katan is gonna get a piece of armor because she lost her shoulder pad. And she starts saying, you know, "Oh, give me one of them with a mythosaur on it." That was what we've seen in episode 2. And yeah, she's like, "I saw a mythosaur." And then that woman says, "Oh, did you see it in a vision?" And then Bo-Katan's like, "No, I've seen it in real life." And then the woman says, "This is the way." And then we end the episode. Fucking hell. What just great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. But that is Episode 4. Again, another pretty bad episode. I still don't know where this show's going. I'm still just like, so what are we doing? We've already cleared up the whole, I've got to go to a bath in order to for my redemption. We've done that in 2 episodes, which was surprising. Usually they tend to drag something like that out to the end of the season. So we've done that, and now we're just kind of like, I don't know. From the previous episode, I'm like, well, we're probably doing something with Moff Gideon then. That's probably the route. But I'm like, we've got 4 episodes left. I don't know what we're gonna do in that time. So I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know if the scientist guy is going to show back up again. I don't know if they're going to do anything with that, or they're setting it up for, next seasons and stuff. Who knows? Because it seems like a show that doesn't plan on ending, although it hasn't been doing well in terms of viewership. So we shall never know. But yeah, again, the only thing you can pull from this episode is just, we've seen how the Mandalorians train for a couple of minutes. That's about it. The only point to the episode. But even then, they didn't do it in an interesting, compelling way. They did it in a way that just makes the Mandalorians once again look stupid. We see them having to figure out and fight something and make themselves look like idiots. So they can't do anything in an interesting way. Because one of the ideas I did here about what you could have done with this season was similar to like the first Assassin's Creed game, where to show us how the Mandalorians come to be. You could have it like he needs his redemption, so he has to retrain and get all his things back. You could do something like that would actually be really interesting and would be able to go in depth on how this Mandalorian faction operates. But no, we didn't do any of that. We just had, it's mayhem training, they look like idiots, that's it. When again, yeah, you could have done something pretty good, I think. Again, everything's there to do something good with this show. They just choose not to. They don't know how to. Not much effort gets put into it. So, we got this, but there you have it. That is episode 4. 4 to go. Very, very short season, so we'll have to see where they go. But my guess is it's probably going to be a big fat nothing burger in the next episode.